Not too much, but
just enough.
Hey.
The podcast, and I am SierraDanielle.
And I am Green.
And we are back, and today we're going to talk about, something more serious that just passed.
Yeah.
That is beyond crazy.
For sure.
So we're just going to talk about Roe V Wade. And we're going to talk about, what our beliefs are on abortions and stuff like that. Plan Bs, what they plan on doing, and like how everything's just banned and stuff. So how do you feel about abortions?
For myself, personally, I don't believe in abortions, but I believe every woman should have the right to make the choice for their bodies.
Yeah.
Like, I know some women that don't want kids at all, and I know some women who struggle with having kids. So I just feel like it's always like a tough subject. But I do feel like some women just, you can't force them to have it, because then you never know what that outturn would look like. Or I feel it's a dangerous thing to try to force a woman to have a baby.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
Especially when they don't want it. Then they gonna mistreat it like they want it.
Sometimes, this was a couple years ago. It was like teenage girls that were pregnant. I guess they didn't know they were pregnant, but gave birth and then threw their babies in the trash.
Oh, I do remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or remember what was the pregnancy pact?
Those girls planned to have the
No,
baby.
I know what I was saying. Remember those? They had a whole movie and everything.
Yeah. So what is your opinion? What? Tell us what is so funny. She is crazy. What?
I believe in abortions.
You do? Okay.
Only because it's like sometimes you're not in the right headspace. Sometimes you just really don't want them, and like it's just like I feel like you have the choice. Like you said, like you have the choice to do it or not. But I feel like people shouldn't be crucified because you don't want it. And no, I'm not speaking from experience. Because you might be like, it's given she had an abortion and she's trying to go for it. But no, I never had one. But I feel like if I was ever in a position and I feel like I needed one, I would get one. But I'm for it. But I'm also not against it.
You just said that.
I know, I just thought about that. I mean, I'm for it, but I ain't going to judge nobody if you do it. You know what
I feel
no,
like...
I'm not saying you will.
No, I definitely won't. Yeah. I know people that have done it. But I don't, and it doesn't change my opinion about people. I feel like you said, sometimes you just in a situation where you're not equipped to provide for a child the way that a child needs. And it's not just a physical thing. It's emotional. It's psychological. It is physical. It's financial. Like, it's a lot of things that are required to handle the birth of a child. So, I definitely don't judge, because you take all that into account, and I feel like every woman has to have, the right to make their own decisions. Yeah.
And it's just different circumstances on how you got pregnant. So it's just like, sometimes it be against your will, and I don't blame you if you don't want to have a daily reminder. Like, it sounds harsh, but it is what it is. And then, so like, how do you feel about this Roe versus Wade? The fact that they're banning abortions and now it's illegal and we can't do it.
Well, it's illegal in certain states.
Basically, they're gonna be like, they're gonna try to, other than the sanctuary state, which we're in California. If anybody watches this out of state, we're in California, which is a sanctuary state. So a lot of things we can still do. They can't take away those rights. But.
So what was the question again?
How do you feel about it? Like, just because they taking away in states. Like, they just said, I forgot what state they just said they canceled all prior abortion appointments they just had. They canceled them all.
But that's stupid to me, because now you're causing women to travel to get this done, because before it was even a legal thing in all states. Women found a way to get it done. You had those little dangerous, right, but you also had those little dangerous places that would do it, and you could die from it. Most women were not telling their families that they were getting it done. So, I mean, to me, it can get really dangerous, because you don't want to put a person in a position where they feel pressured or they feel like the world is against them. They don't have anybody to turn to, and now they want to go and get this dangerous procedure done, and they can't do it at a licensed facility. So for me, it just is crazy, because now we put in lives at risk also, not just the babies, but the mothers also.
They were saying how, like, even when they was having this whole thing about deciding if they was gonna have the Roe v Wade overturned, like, just in the process of it, like, a lot of people was traveling from Texas to California to get abortions, and to the fact that they started finding people that was coming back home, and they found out.
But how could they find out?
I don't know. I guess they was doing some illegal stuff with health records and, like, or
that violates HIPAA. Y'all could sue people that do that. So that's a FYI and important for you to know. But no, I feel like, to me, this world is crazy, because that's just the start of what they're trying to overturn. And it's no telling what the end game is.
Our civil rights. And by our civil rights, I mean
black people.
Yeah, like, that's what I'm saying. That's the root what it is. They're trying to get back to that. Like, if
public enemy number one.
You can't tell me it's not. And then conspiracy theorists were saying, like, the reason why it was overturned was because the population of white people is at all-time low. Okay. So that's why they're doing it, so they can have their babies.
But, and this is no offense to anybody that is not black. Like, I love everybody. I got friends that look like everything. I don't have anything against white people, but I remember when I was younger, when I was in school, I used to always hear like, my teachers tell me, like, you know, right now, blacks, Hispanics, and everything in between, we're considered the minority. Right. But in the future, we'll be the majority, because you have people that are mixing different races. So that is something that, you know, increases the population of other. Or you have, like, it's just increasing everything else. Even white people date outside their race. It increases, you know, it just increases other, or, you know, whatever they mix with. So I think that white people, and I'm talking about the racist white people, I'm not talking about all white people, but I think that the racist white people are intimidated by that, because once they are the minority, then what does that look like for them? And I'm speaking like worldly, I'm speaking like politics and other rights.
That's like, and all that right there is their fear. Like, oh, if we become the minority majority, they take control, and then they, you know, end up being able to do things and say things and overturn things that we can no longer do. So that's why. But my thing is, like, but even if that was the theory, and we are the majority, and us as black people, women, we be like, girl, especially now, we about to go down to this clinic. Now we ain't got the choice to go to the clinic. What do they think is gonna happen?
I don't know.
And then then it's like, now they pull all Plan Bs off the shelf, so you can't buy Plan Bs.
Except the people that have some. Ask your friends, they might have some stored, y'all.
So, have you ever taken a Plan B?
I have.
I don't think about that.
I have, but I needed to make sure I wasn't. I don't even want it. What at that time, I didn't even want it to get to
that place.
Yeah, like, just in case it's anything. And then there are also like spermicides. You know what that is?
The little stuff, the residue afterwards or something?
No, spermicides is like, I know that they have a foam. I don't know if they have a pill, but they have, it's just like creams that you can use, to kill the sperm on contact.
Oh, I didn't know about that. No, I probably learned it like back in the day.
It's a form of contraceptive.
Spermicides, I was thinking about the residue of sperm. That sounds like something like, oh, it's sperm leftovers.
No.
I ain't gonna lie, I didn't take a Plan B, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. No. I was more of a fucking YOLO type of person. So.
You like risk, huh? You like risk.
I mean, younger me, like, listen, I wasn't even having sex like that. And if I was, it was like, I already knew who I was taking a risk with. And now older than me, same situation, and it's just like, if it happens, it happens. If it don't, it don't. But we from California, so you can't tell me what to do with my body.
Yeah, very true. And then there are other cases that come into account. You have women that have health issues that if they carry a kid, it's life-threatening. And no, that's a hard decision to make. Like, I don't know. It's just a hard decision to make.
So if it was you or your baby while you was pregnant,
I would want them to save my baby.
Yeah, I would too.
Because I mean, I'm not saying I lived long enough to know everything, but I've had a good experience and a good go at life. I would want my kid to have that same experience. So I most definitely would have said, try to save both if you can, but if you can't, then most definitely my baby.
Yeah, because that's how your name, it lives longer, you know.
Well, it ain't my name. Well, this is daddy's name, but yeah. And then I wish that I would have read a little more on this article. It was about women who I don't know. Never mind. I don't even want to speak on it because I don't know enough about it, so I'm not gonna bring it up. But there, like I said, it's a lot of health that complications that can come into place when you get pregnant too. Like, my pregnancy was healthy up until I was on a delivery table, and then I had preeclampsia, which means that my blood pressure was high, and it was high enough for me to have a stroke. So luckily my doctors at Kaiser caught on to it, and they were able to medicate me to put me back in the safety zone. But my body doing what it was, doing, it put my body in the stress, and then my son's body in the stress. And so they had to bust my water and put the monitor on his head to make sure that his body wasn't like still in stress, and if it did, they would have had to induce me, and thank God that they didn't. So
you had him natural though? I
had him well, some women don't consider getting epidural
that's
natural, but yeah, I had him.
By natural, I mean vaginal or C-section. You had
I had him vaginal. Yep.
Well, I don't have no kids, so I can't tell you.
Can't tell me yet, but I don't know. Like, for me, it was tough just because all that medication, I was burning up.
Yeah, they say I
was burning up. And then when I brought him home, I did go through a couple, I don't want to say, it wasn't postpartum for sure, but I want to say maybe like baby blues. Like, I just had little moments where I was crying and I didn't know why. Yeah, but just for me, I'm like, my mama was like, what is going on? What is wrong?
Right, why are you so emotional?
Exactly. And then my boyfriend was like, we ain't doing that postpartum. What's going on? You need to talk to me. What do you need? Like, tell me what you need. So that support system really helped.
Yeah.
And then not to mention, like, I had my dad coming down every month just to make sure I was good. His wife came down, my grandmother was coming down, my family already stayed like close in proximity, so they were coming over to, just make sure I was good. But that support, it was everything, because I don't know what that was.
That's comes to a part of why people probably don't want to keep the babies, because they don't have support and they don't want to do it alone because they feel like they can't do it alone.
Yeah. But there are some programs, like, don't get me wrong, when I had him, every time we go to the doctor was asking, like, are you having suicidal thoughts? Like, that's just their protocol. That's what they're doing. They should be doing everywhere. And so if you were having those type of thoughts, like, there are programs that they could have referred you to. It's not like your real family, but it's still a form of support. So there are forms of support out there, but y'all, Google at the touch of your fingertips. Like, you guys can Google if you need support for any type of issues. So that's just something that I want to put out there, because some women are like, where do I go? And at the time, your mind could be foggy. You ain't thinking like, okay, let me Google. That's the furthest thing from your mind. So that's something that you guys could look to as just a resource, or call 211. They have a lot of information. They have a lot of information. So those are little tidbits for women who are, struggling or in need of support.
This episode is pretty heavy.
It is, because that's a big life change. Like, a kid is a huge life change. And I hate when I see it. Let me not say hate. Every woman's experience of motherhood is different. Mm-hmm. But those women, if you got a nanny, shut up.
No, for real.
Motherhood is so easy. It is not. It is not so easy. It is very rewarding, but it's not the easiest thing. So, I mean, as women, we all have our little moments.
Right.
And then you add a baby to the mix, and it's like, who cares about those moments? Your kid is first. So make sure your kid is good, and after you making sure that your kid is good, then you check on yourself. But that's why self-care is also important.
See, that's how I feel when it comes to why you having a baby. What's your intentions on having a baby? Because don't get me wrong, and this might crucify me, and it's okay. Like, it's alright.
We about to get canceled?
Yeah, we're probably gonna get canceled.
What?
Because I just feel like, and I know this is wrong because the saying's been forever, but I just feel like not all babies are blessings.
Okay, so elaborate on that.
Okay, so when I say not all babies are blessings, it's because people have ill intent when they're having children. Like, for instance,
sometimes people have ill intent when they're having.
Yes. Okay. Sometimes, yes. Not all the time. Mm-hmm. That's why I said not all babies aren't blessings. Sometimes some babies are not blessings, because it's like, especially in a generation where I see certain things, and we know people who have a baby to keep a man, or we know a man who got a girl pregnant intentionally on purpose.
Right. And it wasn't in her plan.
Yeah, it was in your plan. And it's like, now you didn't, back her into a corner and she having this baby. Like, that's what I mean when I say the babies aren't blessings. But I'm not saying it's a bad thing that they're here. And it also reflects on how you raise your children. Like, we know people who have babies who you can tell they didn't want to have a baby, but you had the baby anyways. Yeah. Or, like people who have kids and have baby mom, baby daddy drama. Now you using the kid as a pawn for what?
Yeah, that bothers me.
Yeah, and it's a lot common than people think.
Yeah, oh, most definitely. I think everybody watching could say that they know someone, or they have known of someone that has had a baby to try to trap a person. And having a baby does not make a man stay. Having a baby does not stop your problems within your relationship. Like, exactly. Sometimes it can intensify things, and I don't think people fully understand that. But I mean, that's, everybody learns from their life experiences. So that's just a learning experience for some people. But also, you got so many kids like in a foster system, like, and it's just so sad. Like, these people have these kids, and sometimes they could just drop it. I don't want them. Yeah. And it's like, what?
Did you see, like, it was something on, like, I think, like, the Shade Room, or I think it was, like, Spiritual World, and this designer, she made this, like, box out of, like, a box at a, what's the fire station, where you can put the baby inside, close it up, and it'll be warm, and, like, make sure that it stays safe until somebody, gets the baby. They can open it all the time. I seen it, like, not too long ago.
And this is at every fire station?
No, I think, like, she just made it, and now it's probably going to be, like, they'll probably make it a thing. But, like, back in the day, you used to, like, drop your child off at the fire station if you don't want it. Yeah. So, it's probably, like, an add-on to that.
That's new to me. That's definitely new to me. I've never heard of that.
But it's just, like, how to just being able to drop your child off. Like, oh, I don't want the baby no more. On second thought, I don't want you anymore either.
But that, to me, is just like, I don't know. Like, it's just, I don't know. I have a lot of mixed feelings about it. No, seriously, because then if a kid is put in foster care, you got a lot of crazy people out here that really don't have a kid's best interest, and it's really sad. So it makes me feel upset in that sense that you know, people will step forward like, oh, I can take care of the baby, and they're doing it just for the money. Or you got, you know, family members that do it just for money too. But it's just like, are you gonna have the best interest of this baby or of this child? It's a lot, and it's a lot of different scenarios out there that exist. But for me, I just be cautious and be more just be more cautious of what you're doing. If that's something that you want to do and you feel like you're in the right space for it, and then you need support, seek that support. Support is everything. Support is really everything.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I feel like that's why I'm a believer on, like, I gotta do what I gotta do, because I refuse to bring myself into a situation or bring my child into a situation where, one, you know, like, it's not stable, I'm not happy, and like, I know in the long run it's gonna be harder. And I know sometimes people can be like, okay, well, that's you maybe being a coward and you maybe taking the easy road, but it's like, I'm thinking about long-term things too, and I know what I can do and what I can't do it. And I feel like people shouldn't be, you know, like, not even our generation, because our generation, we open. Our, like, you know, our young, you know, our older generation, like, above us, our parents and grandparents, they'd be like, they probably wouldn't be more, you know, receptive of it. Like, back then, you probably get shunned or in trouble for having an abortion. Like, they would secretly having abortions.
Exactly. That's true.
So it was just like, I like the fact that now we open up to be like, oh, I don't want to have this baby, and you should be fine. Just to turn around and be overturned, and now the government is like controlling your body, but now we can't. But it's just crazy how things like a woman's body can be controlled, but gun control, racism, and all these other things. It's like,
and that's the next thing they're about to try to do.
What?
Make less laws about the gun control.
But it's like, what other, I feel like it's at its wit's end, like, we're not controlled at all. Them little kids getting shot up at school, 40 minutes to get inside.
For real.
40 minutes.
Definitely,
Parents going inside to still, like, to get their children.
Like, would it be the same, like, careless things if they were coming to the Capitol? Maybe, or going to Supreme Court and targeting judges, or, you know, like, things of that nature. Like, then would you guys change your minds about gun control, or do y'all got guns in the back if somebody come in there because y'all so pro-gun? Like, it's really ridiculous.
It's because it's not black people shooting up schools and black people shooting up grocery stores and black people rushing the Capitol, because if black people rushed that Capitol, they wasn't making it home. If a black school, if a black kid shot up that school, elementary schools, one, they would never took 40 minutes to get inside, and two, that man would have never made it safely and alive. Just like, well, no, I think he died.
Yeah, he did die.
But the grocery store, Tops, he survived, and they arrested him nicely.
And stop claiming mental health for these people. Sometimes they are, it's premeditated. Like, stop saying that every person that does that has mental health issues. No, they don't.
And then they're not. And then school shooters, like, for instance, like, even with the little boy, his parents knew what it was. And it's just like, there's no way your kid can go buy this big old machine gun and go hide it from you.
But he shot the grandma in the face before he went and did the kid.
But the daughter go, but his mama, like, his mama, what his mama said? His mama said, made some excuse like, oh, he's stressed out, or what did she say? Something's wrong with him, or basically trying to justify it. But his dad was like, no, we're not justifying nothing. Like, and it's just like, that's what happened with these parents and these grandparents. Like, they justifying these kids to do these crazy things. And, like, even in the South, they got open to carry. But it's like, in the South, it's like open to carry so it can happen. So more black people won't get shot with us. Because if you think about it, you know, they want the black on black crime to stay where it's at. Or, you know, and to go up. And it's like, let's do open carry because y'all already shoot each other. So why not? But like, do our work for us.
That's the confusing part. So what they're doing is, with all these crazy laws, this world is getting crazier and crazier. Now you're forcing women to bring people into this world for them to get shot, or for them to get, you know,
or be the shooter because they mad about their life.
Exactly. It's just like, come on, let's make it make sense.
Right.
And for me, that it just doesn't make any sense at all. At all.
It doesn't. And there's no, like, logic to what's going on, other than I feel like the root is just to make sure that like black people is the minority and go back to what it used to be, because it's like, what is the point of telling us what to do with our bodies? Like, what is it? What is the benefit? And then you're over here saying we can't have abortions, but we got a whole formula shortage.
Right.
Like,
say that again.
So what about people who can't feed their baby and need formula?
Yeah, because, and that's another thing, like for women, it's not easy to breastfeed for all women. Like some women can't produce milk, or some women have issues with producing enough milk, so they do have to turn to getting formula and things of that nature for their babies to survive. And that's just, to me, it's irresponsible on a government level for them to continue to go on this same like circle. Like, okay, we know that these issues exist, but we don't care.
But they don't.
No, they don't. So it's just like, let's make it make sense.
It's all about money too.
Yeah,
like,
it is.
We benefit from having all these babies, and then it's like we in this recession. We had to shut down for 2 years. We got to make up this money, and it's like, all right, what can I do to put $1 on something? Oh, let's have all these babies. All these babies mean, you know, all these baby needs skyrocketing, the market going up, because now we got all this stuff going on. Like, I don't know, the government crazy. The government is crazy.
They crazy.
The Congress, crazy. Let me say the Congress, because they're the ones overturning stuff.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So it's really the Congress, and we need to have more people like that, look like us and minorities back in Congress. Like, we did a good job putting people in there, like, you know, women of color and more color in there, but obviously we ain't doing enough, because look what happened.
No, but that it's so important for people to know, like, that our votes do matter. If enough of us go out and do it, they wouldn't have a chance.
Our votes do matter as well as if we were educated on how the branches work. Yeah. Because you're taught in high school, but you're not really thinking about it. Like, I feel like if more people in the spotlight really started breaking down the branches, how does this work? And even when it comes down to, like, the mayors, the congresswomen, men in your city, and really just start from the bottom of the title pole all the way up, then we can understand, because not everybody knows how it works. So everybody like, oh, Biden coming in office, he for black people, we great.
And he is not. He could care less. Just because he was with old do not mean that he was for us. But that just show us too, we was only worried about him taking away, I mean, you know, school debt. That's really what he got voted on, and him being best friends with Obama. Yeah. Like, that shows you, like, we need to be educated, because after, you know, black Obama, like, I mean, black President Obama is like, oh, you know, we thought we knew everything. Yeah. And it's like, we don't. No. No, we don't.
So that episode low-key went by quick. It did. And it was a little heavy.
It was.
It was like, our energy was like, it wasn't down. It was just like, damn, this shit serious. We can, you know.
Yeah, heck yeah.
So thank you for tuning in to our video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Yes, please.
And we're just going to have, you know, like I said, we're going to be versatile. We both said we're going to be versatile. We're going to, you know, talk about any and everything. So, you know, we're going to bounce back and forth from fun to serious to deep. And we usually ain't doing politics, though, for real. We're not doing politics. We just had to talk on this because we're both women. We're females, and it's our body, so we had to talk on it. Yeah. But as far as, like, presidency, Congress, you know,
don't look to us.
Yeah. Because don't vote wrong and then try to blame us.
Yeah.
So, thank you for watching, and we out of here.